this, if you don't hear anything else this morning, it's not that the Lord, our Father, stopped calling or speaking. The real issue is that we've stopped listening. We've stopped listening. Like the son in the story, the further we get away from our Father, the worse off we're going to be. And the best course in that moment is to do exactly what this son plans on doing. Go back home. Go back home. So what happens to this son in the story is he grows tired of where he's at. He grows tired of his sin. He grows tired of his circumstance. He's sick and tired of what? Being sick and tired. Anybody in here sick and tired of being sick and tired this morning? You feel like you take one step forward and two steps back? Anybody in here this morning sick and tired of being sick and tired? You're not happy with your current circumstance. You're not happy with how your life is going. You're not happy with your relationships or your friends or your family or your relationship with God. Who in here is at that point this morning? I think many of us can relate. We're sick and tired of being sick and tired. We turn in our wheels, just spinning them in the mud. So what's the son do? He makes a plan and he returns home. He opens his ears and he follows that voice of his dad all the way home, right? And so what happens when the prodigal son returns, though? Because this is the craziest part of this story. What happens? He's welcomed. While he's still at distance, what happens? His dad sees him. If that doesn't prove something to you this morning, that the further away we get from God, it's not that God's not looking for us to come home. God's not turned his back on you, Christian. That dad, he was looking and he sees him, and what's he do? He actually says he has compassion on him. That word is so deep. He doesn't just go to him because he feels like he has to. It's not an obligation. It's a compassion. God's not obligated to love you this morning, but he has a compassion for you. He wants to. So that's what the dad does. He has compassion on his son. He runs to him. He hugs him. He kisses him. And what's he do? He immediately takes care of his needs. Clothe him, put shoes on his feet, a ring on his hand. Bring that fat calf we've been saving. Let's celebrate. My son who is dead is now home. So how do you think the son felt, though? Because that's often overlooked. We see the dad runs out to him. How do you think the son felt in that moment? Humbled. That's a good one. Shocked. You think he might have had a little bit of guilt and shame, though? Hey, Dad, I knew what to do with my inheritance better than you. That worked out, right? He probably had some guilt. He probably had some shame. I imagine as he walked, I like to paint a picture. I imagine as he walked through town, headed home, he probably stared at his feet the whole way. Right? He was embarrassed. He had guilt. He had shame. And I feel like this morning there might be some of us that are embarrassed. We got some guilt. We got some shame. Preacher, you don't know what I did yesterday. You don't know what I did a month ago. You don't know what I did before I came back to church. And it's all I could do to look at my feet and walk in the doors. We've got people here. We might have people on the live stream that feel that way this morning. Tanner, you don't know what I did. Let me tell you this morning, God's got compassion on you. The last thing that father thought about as he ran to that son is what the son had done. He was just happy the son was coming back this morning. So that gives us hope this morning. Hope that we can always come back and we can always be received. That God's always got compassion on us. So the son, when he gets back to his dad runs out, has compassion on him, and he gets through the first two parts. Father, I've sinned against heaven and before you. Verse 19, I'm no longer worthy to be called your son. But before he gets to that third part, something amazing happens. The father, he lets him get through the first two parts. I've sinned against heaven and before you. I'm no longer worthy to be called a son, and he cuts him off. He doesn't want to hear the son say, treat me as a hired servant, because guess what? The father, he doesn't want another hired servant, does he? No, if we think about creator and creation, the father, he doesn't want another servant. He wants a son. That's what he wanted. He wanted a son. I don't care what you've done. I don't care where you've been. You're back now, and guess what? You have my name. You have my name. So as we relate to that this morning, Christian, God does not want to punish you for where you've been or what you've done. He wants you back. I've given you my name this morning, right? My name, my grace, I've given you all of that. Come home and be received. He had compassion on him. God doesn't want another servant. Some of you feel like you got to do enough good things to get into heaven. God doesn't want another servant. He wants your life. Anybody in here had to buy a present for somebody that's got everything? Yeah, what do you get them? A gift card. A gift card. My family knows if you're getting a present for me, it's going to be a gift card every time. My wife buys good gifts. I don't. And so that person that's got everything, what do you buy them? A gift card. Okay, what do you get God? The creator and sustainer of all things. What do you get God? The only thing you got, your life, your obedience.